deals. Fastball hit in the air to left field. That's deep. Back goes Chavez back near the wall, leaping, and he made the catch. He took a home run away from Roland, trying to get back to first Edmonds. He's doubled off, and the inning is over. Andy Chavez saved the day. Eli throwing into traffic on the sideline. They're going to rule it a catch by Manningham.
Sanchez, corner of the end zone. Punt! For the second time today, Santonio Holmes on the receiving end of a touchdown. This one with 10 seconds to play.
This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Three straight games to start this series. So it was a Game 7. They stand eye to eye with history, and they did not blink. The Heat are going to the NBA Finals. What a win on the road.
Yeah, safe to say these NBA playoffs been on some heavy drugs. Not just the soft ones. It's been an insane ride, and we are at the NBA Finals. We know the two teams that's going to play, and we know who's going home. Going to get right into it on Sports Talk. WHPC Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Joshua Umahi as your host, joined by Nick Ornberger. How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm sad, really sad, actually, that I couldn't be in Boston to watch the Celtics crowds cry their eyes out, scream, and throw beers at TVs, watching this team lose.
I will do that.
Lose. Go back to where you belong.
Hey, on the Celtics note, Devin O'Shea. How are we doing today?
It's a tough day, but it's a tough day. But I mean, we just gotta look forward to that Jaylen Brown contract.
That's what you're looking forward to? You want to pay him $300 million after that performance?
That's all I can look forward to right now, bro.
Hey, man, hey. I guess it's dark times in Celtic land then. Nick Scartamaglia, how we doing?
How are you?
I'm upbeat, you know. Boston tears, I drink them like water. Eric Williams, how we doing?
Doing all right. I mean, I don't know how to feel about that, but, you know, the Heat came... I'm sorry. The Celtics came back from 3-0, and they wasted their time, basically, so... They wasted everybody's time. They wasted Boston fans' time. They wasted Chuck, Ernie, and Kenny, and Shaq. They wasted their time, too, because I'm pretty sure they wanted to go on vacation early.
Oh, you know they wanted to go on vacation. you know Charles couldn't wait to hit the casinos, and... You know, Shaq and Kenny and them wanted to go on vacation, but it is here now. Inside the NBA's work this season is over as the Eastern Conference Finals ended last night. Game 7, we hyped it up yesterday. I thought it was going to be an instant classic. I really expected a close game. And the way I expected the game to go was, you know, Boston, I expect them to feed off the energy of the crowd and they'll build up a big lead. But as long as the Heat just hang in there at the fourth quarter, at the start of the fourth quarter, they'll be aight.
Mm-hmm.
That's not quite how it went.
Yeah.
Before we get into the game, I just wanted to recap Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown's comments when they went down 3-0. You'll see where I'm going with this, but here's what they said when they were trailing the series 3-1.
You feel good about tonight?
I feel very good about tonight. Don't let us get one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, just don't let us get one. So don't let us get
Kevin
this
Millar?
one. There you go. Big time, baby. Don't let us win tonight. That's our mindset. We let us get one. We feel confident. So we're going to come out and play free, play ready, and it should be fun. Backs on the wall. It's a winner go home, winner the season's over type of game tonight. So definitely got to leave it all out there. Definitely got to come with that fight mentality, and definitely can't have any regrets on the court. It's not over till it's over.
You're a liar.
They lied. I mean, it was cute. It was cute them coming back from 3-0 and everything else and tying the series. Obviously, we talked about it yesterday. Derek White, that impressive putback, that was just, you know, poetic, beautiful. And you're expecting the Celtics to really feed off that energy and come into Game 7 and just start, you know, beating their ass right from the jump, right? Make the Heat shell-shocked and have them on their heels, right? That's what you would think, right? But Devin, you know best. This Celtics team is just as weird as it gets.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to talk about another weird team in the Mets later on, but the Celtics are definitely, they're so damn talented because you have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum in their prime. You got great supporting pieces around them. Joe Mazzulla, I don't think is a bad coach. He's caught a lot of heat throughout the postseason, but I think he's an all right coach. He did some all right things in the series to lead them back to tie the series at 3.
He saved his job by coming back from 3-0.
Yeah, he did, and I don't know how Celtics fans or most Celtics fans feel about that. I know he caught a lot of criticism this series, but all in all, I have to give the Celtics a cop-out for one thing, because when you're a superstar player, one of the best statistical Game 7 players in NBA history, Jason Tatum, goes down with injury on literally the first play.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Let's hear that injury in live time with Kevin Harlan on the call.
He tried to Euro step around him. Vincent just a little bit late rotating over. First possession of the evening. There's the Euro step right there. It's that left ankle.
Every time a player gets injured on TNT when Reggie Miller's on the call, he sounds almost excited. No, it's weird because he's like, "Oh, that was a good turn right there." I'm like, "Yo, what are you talking about?" But here's Tatum on the injury post game and how he felt throughout the game.
I saw the video. I saw it after the game that I came down, on my ankle, and it's tough because it kind of impacted me. The rest of the night, swelled up, and it was just frustrating that I was kind of like a shell of myself. It's tough to move. It was just frustrating, especially.
Now, usually I would say, don't use the injury excuse, but in this case it's very valid because you can definitely tell Jason Tatum was not himself. I mean, he scored 51 points in his previous Game 7. He only scores 14.
Broke the record.
Yep, broke the all-time record that Steph Curry held for like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So that's when we last saw him in a Game 7, and then he doesn't even get the chance to go at it at full strength. I mean, 14 points, 11 rebounds, that's not what you expect out of Jason Tatum. Obviously, the ankle impacted him throughout the game. Every single time he made a layup or blocked a shot or landed on it a little bit, he was grimacing. You could tell he was in clear pain. So that was a tough break for the Celtics. But you do have 2 stars on the team. And you would expect one Jaylen Brown to really step up. You see your co-star, all NBA second team, eligible for a $300 million extension. We know the drill with that. You would expect him to, see his co-stars hurt, be like, I got to step up. And he just kept chucking. Like the first quarter, like that's not how you start off a game. That's not how you want to set a tone because he missed all of his threes to start. And then finally he gets the message within himself to be like, all right, I gotta attack the basket. Missed like 3 layups in a row. I'm like, this ain't good. Heat jumped out to a big double-digit lead early. They never really looked back.
He's not used to leading a team by himself. He's used to being if Jason Tatum needs a rest, he's that guy. If Jason Tatum needs someone to step in for him, he's that guy. Yesterday, he was not that guy. He's not him.
He was not him. He realized he's not built for this.
The only thing I could say is that the third quarter, it did look like they kind of found some sort of stride. At least beat him out in points. Obviously, the defense wasn't there. Here's the thing about Jaylen Brown is, and the knock on him and the knock on the teammates there. Not everybody has a Pippen. Not everybody has a Paxton or a Steve Kerr or a Van Fleet or somebody who can, when you go down or something happens, you can kind of take up the slack and just have a miraculous game. There are certain guys. Patty Mills during that Spurs series back in 2000, what was that, 2016 now? Jeez.
2014.
2014. Not everybody has a guy who can see somebody important go down and just be like, oh, this is my time now. Maybe Jaylen's not that guy. Maybe Marcus isn't that guy. Maybe it's not Derek White. Maybe it's not. Maybe the Celtics need to really re-examine this roster. My guess is probably not. If you have a healthy Tatum, I can't say they will win that series, but I can say it's even floor. It's even floor. If Jason doesn't do that to himself, it's very possible we're talking about a Celtic Nugget series instead of a Heat Nugget series.
I can agree with that. I think that literally, if you're talking like he got hurt in the second quarter and the Heat already had a decent lead, then you were having a different discussion. But literally the first play of the game, that happens like that. It didn't take the air out of the building because the Celtics fans was pretty live until the Heat started to pull away in that second quarter. But that's the first play of the game. You can't make that stuff up.
Yeah.
You really can't make that stuff up.
You lose your All-NBA first-team guy in the first play of the game.
And I thought he was going to have a huge game. I thought he was going to have one of them like big-time Tatum performances. So,
and he thought that too. He definitely thought he was going to be able to go off. But
I thought 40. I thought 40.
Oh,
I thought for sure 40 Tatum. Just come out and just say, like, I'm him. Let's go.
Yeah, and so he's definitely disappointed in himself, the fact that he got injured the first play of the game and was prevented from being able to do much. But like this roster outside of Jason Tatum has to learn. It has to learn who it is without Jason Tatum. Just like how we know how we play with Jason Tatum, because yesterday we did not know how to play with Jason Tatum, because Jason Tatum, he shot 13 shots. Derek White shot one less shot than him. So it was the 3-point shooting was god awful.
Let's talk about it.
You can't win a Game 7. You can't win a playoff game, period, when your team is shooting 21% from 3 and the other team is shooting 50% from the 3-point shot. You lose Malcolm Brogdon off your bench to his torn elbow.
Yeah, I thought he made a mistake playing. He clearly wasn't.
That's what I was thinking. When I saw he was available for Game 6, I was a little iffy about that, because he's been very iffy with his injury, and that's his shooting hand. That's the ball he shoots with, and he's been incredible all year. I think he shot 50, 40, 90, I'm pretty sure.
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah, he's been incredible all year, but with this elbow injury, it prevented his shooting ability. He should not have been playing very much. He only played 7 minutes yesterday, so we were smart with only playing him a few minutes.
Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon last night, 7 minutes, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 of 3 from the floor, 0 of 2 from 3, minus 15.
There was no way we were winning this game yesterday with the Jason Tatum injury, Malcolm Brogdon injury, and then I read this morning that Robert Williams had a stomach virus during the game and was throwing up during the game. We're not winning a game when we got a guy on the bench that has a torn elbow right now, a guy on the bench that's throwing up at the game, and a guy on the All-NBA first team that is not able to step on his ankle.
Not great.
Yeah,
I thought the Celtics were the lucky franchise. Like, they got the 4-leaf clover stuff going on. They got the leprechaun. Like, I thought they were supposed to have the luck.
Yeah,
everything went wrong for the Celtics last night.
I'll tell you what,
literally everything.
That luck will be very much dispatched. And Devin, sorry. Sorry for your Celtics.
Thank you.
I really am. I lived in Boston for 4 years. I actually watched this team grow. Them, the Bruins, the Red Sox implode. It was fantastic. Having said that, I think if they want to stick with their luck, Jaylen Brown, year after year after year, has gotten better and better and better. And now he is applicable for that, that next step, that $300 million max contract with the bird rights, 5 years. I do not think the correct way to fix this situation is to give up on what has brought them to it's 2 in a row now, right? 2 Eastern Conference Finals.
They've been the 4 in the last 7 seasons, I think.
Exactly. So this isn't the way. You re-sign this man, and you have 2 absolute bona fide stars. Stick behind them, develop young kids, draft well, do that thing. Because that's the thing that my team doesn't do. So having said that, I'm with you. I feel your pain. I wish we could have been there facing you guys. You probably would have smoked us. Having said that,
we would have lost.
The Knicks would have lost. Let's be honest. This team nearly did something impossible. Like literally, we're talking 22 points. I get it, however much they lost by. Nearly did something that's never been done before, coming back from 0-3.
Oh yeah.
So you don't give up on that. You just don't.
Yeah.
They showed heart every game after that third game. After the fifth game, I was like, okay, all right, now the Celtics have to show something. And at Game 7, anything happens, and anything did happen.
Yeah,
someone got sick, someone rolled an ankle. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
but we could very well be sitting here tonight talking about the most crazy stuff ever with a Celtics Nuggets series. But we're not here. We're talking about the Heat and Jimmy Butler and his greatness and his drive to just do it practically by himself.
I want to briefly touch on Miami. I know it's a lot of Boston talk, but Miami, to go up 3-0 in the first place is impressive, considering that there was a significant talent gap. And, I mean, Eric Spoelstra, I can't say enough about that man. That man is there's coaches and then there's coaches. Spoelstra he's one of them ones. He's
a whisperer.
This is Pat Riley's 19th NBA Finals.
Good for the Rat. Good for the Mole.
He's been to. I read that he's been to the to 25% of the NBA Finals in NBA history.
I mean, that's impressive. I mean, I don't like the way he did the Knicks in the 90s. I thought that I wasn't even.
What'd you expect him to do? That team was losing. He had to deal. You know what? No, I'm not getting into it. I'm just not doing it. I'm not. I can't hate on Pat Riley too much.
We'll argue about that another time.
Another day. Another day. That's painful.
You bring up Jimmy Butler. I mean, 28 points. He really struggled in Game 6, 5 of 21, but stepped it up in a big way, especially in the second half. He was half decent in the first half. I thought he could have played a lot better, but second half he definitely smelled blood in the water. When you're up 12 and a half, he's like, all right, I know what time it is. It's time to stick over.
I've never respected a player as much as I do Jimmy Butler as an opponent to a team of mine that I'm facing, because like he's just every single game that he was losing, like every single time he was like, we just got to do better next game.
That belief never went away.
Like he was the heart of that team, and he led that team to. And like I do love at the end of that game when Bam offered Jimmy to hold the trophy, the Bob Cousy trophy, and he said, "No, I'll hold the next one because he's gonna hold the." I'm rooting for the Heat. I'm like honestly between Heat and Nuggets, like I want underdog.
No hard feelings.
I want the underdog to win. I want even though they beat my Celtics, like I'd love to see Jimmy have a championship.
Hey, they beat my Knicks and I feel the same way. Jimmy Butler.
Same.
Remember, he said last season, when they lost Game 7, he went right up to the podium and was like, you know what? We're going to have enough next season. We're going to be right back in the same situation, and we're going to win that game. And literally that same exact situation on the same exact day a year later, 365 days later, the same scenario, and he got it done. So that's big time, and Heat culture. I know people make a lot of jokes about it, but it's real. It's clearly real. We've seen it this postseason. The Heat should not be here. No chance they should be here.
He reminds me, and he's not I was never met. There's a guy back when I was growing up. You guys are a lot younger than me, but there's a guy I grew up with that everybody older than me hated. But I looked at it and said, I kind of respect this guy. He's got that dog in him. That's Isaiah Thomas. That's what Jimmy Butler reminds me of. Reminds me of Isaiah Thomas. I didn't hate him. I loved him when the bad boy Pistons won. Loved it. Want to know why? They beat Jordan. I loved it. Beat the bad guy. Love it. Anytime that happens, I'm in. Yeah. And now there's nobody. This is the first NBA Finals I can remember in a while where I don't care. I don't care who wins. I'm happy for Jokic. Yeah. I'm happy for Butler. I'm happy for both. Happy for both. Get your ring. I hope it's Butler.
You know, the only thing I could say about what the Heat were thinking of going into Game 7 is they don't want to be like those Yankees in 04 who went up 3 games to none.
That's a great call, Nick. That's a great call.
Because we're still talking about, to this day, at least I am, 2004, when the Red Sox pulled off the miraculous comeback. They didn't want to be the next laughing stock of the world.
Right, and interesting note, the Celtics crowd and TD Garner was really pushing that Red Sox. Like they had the Kevin Millara comment on the big screen. They had I don't know if Johnny Damon was there, but he was at Game 6. Like they were really pushing the 3-0 Red Sox 2004 against the Yankees. Engel, but it didn't work out for them. It didn't work out for the Celtics at least.
I saw the best 2000s Celtics point guard was in the building last night. It was Rajon Rondo was in the building.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
That's what I call him, Chris Paul.
And Pierce was there too, and I saw...
No Ray Allen?
I didn't see Ray Allen there.
No,
I thought they relashed the friendship.
This is what happened. Somebody asked Paul Pierce if Ray Allen was going to be at the game, and Paul Pierce basically said, I don't know who Ray's going to be rooting for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he played for both teams.
Here's my theory. I feel like Ray Allen was going to show up, but then he seen that, he was like, nah, I can't.
I can't show up.
I can't. That's wild petty for Paul Pierce to say. But
they had Isaiah Thomas there. Isaiah Thomas got a standing ovation.
Yeah, I mean, that's cute, but the Celtics... I remember the Celtics did him dirty when they traded him for Kyrie. I remember that.
We did.
I remember that. Real quick, back to the game, I wanted to give a shout-out, and we'll get back into the Boston angle real quick, but this kid, Caleb Martin...
Oh, my God.
Yo.
When this guy's contract comes up, he needs to be paid. Like, this dude is incredible. Like, he all series, and like even against the Knicks, and like this entire playoffs, he's been such a key part to this Heat team that has like kept them going all the way to the NBA Finals. I read just a little bit ago, he had 4 votes for the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
As he should have.
Like, because like when it was being announced, me and my brother had to question if it was going to be Butler or Caleb Martin. Like, we had to question it or not. Like, I said it was going to be Butler. But, like, Caleb Martin, right behind him.
Yeah, Caleb Martin. I saw a lot of people saying, like, oh, Caleb Martin was robbed for the Eastern Conference Finals MVP that went to Jimmy Butler. I mean, Jimmy Butler's the best player and he had the better stats. You can say Jimmy Butler didn't shoot all that efficiently and Caleb Martin did. But I think Caleb Martin's just fine with like people knowing his name now, and people really know his name. Like, you show up in the Eastern Conference Finals and you have that type of performance. I'm trying to pull up his series averages.
Well, like, if you take out Butler out of the Heat, do they win that series against the Celtics?
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, you take away Caleb Martin from that team, it's a closer series. It's that Game 7 is a lot closer if you take out Caleb Martin.
I don't know. I think because remember, he took up Kevin Love's spot, and Kevin Love wasn't giving them a damn thing to open the series. So he played big minutes at the 4, and like, it's crazy. Like, this kid never really was a great shooter. He made at least 2 threes in every single game in the series.
Yeah.
Every single game. He scored in double figures every single game. He didn't have one game below 14 points. Big time. Like, he really showed up and showed out. So
last 2 games, he crashed the boards like crazy.
15 rebounds in Game 6, 10 rebounds in Game 7, like you're talking about.
For the record, you wouldn't have a Game 7 if it wasn't for Derek White. You can make that argument, too.
Who was really the best player on the floor for the Celtics yesterday?
Pretty much,
That's not what you want.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good, solid player.
He's a positive player all the time. Works the boards, active on defense, stealing, blocking, making the shots he needs to make. He's awesome.
Yeah,
I still wouldn't say he was the best. I still wouldn't say he's the best number 9 Celtic in that building last night.
Yeah. He's like Iguodala for the Warriors.
I mean, I still take Rondo over him.
Hey, the Celtics could have used prime Rondo in this series because
they could have used Rondo now.
they really, because Jaylen Brown trying to play make. Like, made my eyes bleed. I'm not even trying to be mean.
8 turnovers.
He can't dribble the ball. He can't.
Yo, like, Eric, Jimmy Butler, like, it's
by the way, neither can Tatum and Brown, for the record. They can't dribble either. No handles on either of those guys. Yeah. What's going on?
It's crazy because, like, I can see, like, Eric Spoelstra, because he's, like, a film head. So he just walks over to Jimmy Butler pregame, like, yo, Butler's like, I'm guarding Tatum, right? Nah, we want you to crush Brown's spirit. Because if you put Butler on Brown, and we saw it play out, like, Jimmy Butler, and those quick hands near Jaylen Brown's weak handles. 8 turnovers last night. 8 turnovers in the Game 7.
1 for 9 from 3.
That's a disaster class, bro. Like, 8 of 23?
Jeez.
You want 300 mil? 8 of 23.
Does anybody remember that there was a game? It's a long time ago now. Must be 10 years ago now. Where Pat Riley, not Pat Riley. What's his name? God, I can't remember the coach's name.
Which team?
Knicks. They put Steve Novak on LeBron James for a game. Steve Novak.
That had to be Mike Woodson. Yeah,
it was Mike Woodson. He said, like, LeBron's getting his points today. We're not worried about that. Give me your best effort. We're going to shut everyone else down.
That's hilarious.
It did not work.
Nah, of course it didn't. What in your right mind? You know what?
LeBron went for like 48 that night. It was absurd.
Imagine Steve Novak's face like, you got Bron. Like, me? What?
Me?
What?
Me?
Not what you want.
Tall white boy.
Yeah. LeBron looking across from him like, licking his chops. Yeah, it's going to be a good night.
Like looks up from him with the death stare.
Yeah.
The infamous LeBron death stare.
Yeah, Steve got to like run to the bathroom. He had an accident.
You know, I think I sprained my elbow.
Yeah.
It's not even your shooting hand. I meant this one.
The Knicks was funny back in like the early 2010s. Like they was comedy. I forgot about that one, but
Raymond Felton was the biggest comedy.
No, hold on.
He was just out of shape, poor guy.
We don't take
Like
any
Eddie Lacy in this.
any Raymond Felton disrespect. No, we don't take it. No,
bro, I was scrolling TikTok one day and I see Eric repost
the Raymond Felton. Yes, Raymond Felton highlights. Yeah, let's go. Like, come on.
He was legit. He was a legit point guard. I liked Raymond Felton.
He was solid. He was
a solid point guard.
UNC
There were a couple
Raymond
years
Felton?
though. He showed up like 230.
Yo, when he was in college too. Yeah.
UNC Raymond Felton, man.
Not
Come on.
230. That's unfair. But big.
230.
Just big.
He got a little
Reminds
big
me of
towards the
Eddie
end.
Lacy with the
chubby.
Packers.
He got a little big towards the end. I don't want to slander Raymond Felton. We got bigger fish to fry, right? Speaking of Raymond Felton, though, I want to get to the Knicks because they lost to this Heat team. I know a lot of Knicks fans were saying, "Oh, this should have been us." It was never going to be us. Outside of Jalen Brunson, we were a dumb basketball team. What really helped the Heat was that they were a smart basketball team. Eric Spoelstra's the best coach in the league. He had those boys ready. We were a dumb basketball team. We had Julius Randle playing heavy minutes. What more you want me to say?
Yeah.
What more you want me to say? We were not going to beat the Celtics.
Nothing. Don't say anything.
No, we weren't going to beat the
Thibodeau was
Celtics.
never.
You were never beating the Celtics. If the Warriors went, let's say by a miracle, we made it to the finals. If the Warriors went, if the Lakers went, if the Nuggets went, we weren't winning.
Take the brooms out,
beating
actually.
Celtics.
Take the brooms out.
Exactly. What?
Take the brooms
out. If we face any of those teams in the finals,
God, are you kidding me? Bron would have swept the floor.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's
Jokic-
38 years
Jokic
old.
against
I don't
Randall.
care.
Jokic against Randall.
So my point is, like, don't look at this season. Look at this season as a success for your what do you call it? Your fan pride or whatever.
You finally make the past the first round of the playoffs. You finally win a playoff series.
Yes.
Take it.
In what, like 2 decades? So hang your hats on that, but understand the cost of it. Because we spent a ton of money on Julius Randle, who doesn't perform in the playoffs. We got lucky with Brunson. I think he's a dog. He wants this. I am very much, you know what, before we get into any of that, I just want to say, I think we underutilized Obi Toppin.
Yes.
I think we underutilized some of the other playmakers on this team, whether it was Quigley, it doesn't matter. The point is, he's not the guy to lead you there. And he cannot be off the trading block. He is, what did I say a few weeks ago? He is a second-tier star. He's not a superstar. You do not win championships in this league anymore.
He's the Jaylen Brown.
Without
doesn't.
But exactly. If you replaced Randall with Jaylen Brown, same thing happens.
Yeah.
Same exact thing happens. You need a Kawhi. You need a LeBron. You need a Steph Curry. You need, a
number one star.
You need somebody who can just do it themselves if they have to.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not that.
Randall cannot
So
do that.
don't keep him. Put him on the block. Keep him on the block. If he somehow turns into what you want, great. But he probably won't.
Yeah.
It's not his game.
No.
He's a second. He's probably at his best a Chris Bosh.
Yeah, third player on a title-winning team.
Exactly.
Which requires, if this roster stays intact, you really need an R.J. Barrett leap. Because I don't think he's really going anywhere. Like I think the Knicks, for the most part, they're going to round out the edges with the bench. But I think for the most part, they're going to wind up running it back. We're not going to see a Dame Lillard trade. I actually could see Dame going to the Boston, actually.
It's the most realistic
Dame's
Knick
too old now,
prediction
too.
I've ever heard.
He's not even a top
He's
star
33
now.
years old.
What?
He's 33 years old.
33 years old, buddy. That means he's got 5 years. That's a window of 5 years.
That was
5 years.
If I'm the Celtics, right?
Sure.
And your choices are you're paying Jaylen Brown $300 million, or you're paying Dame less and you're going all in, because Dame Lillard is like, if he could fit with Jason Tatum as that playmaker and a shooter, better playmaker, better shooter. Older, yeah, but and Jaylen Brown's not the best defender, but I would say Lillard's a step below him.
But we don't know.
Even then.
It's a better situation, though, because, listen, Tatum is an absolute star. He is a top 15 player right now.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
7.
Absolutely not. We don't know what Derek White is. He might turn out to be a good number 3. We do not know yet.
I believe that.
But
I can believe that.
Could be that. You bring in a guy like Damian Lillard to run that offense, and yes, sadly, that would mean the departure of Marcus Smart, more than likely. Probably. I mean, could he fit on that team? Would he be happy about it, though? Marcus Smart is not a non-vocal guy.
He spent most of his startup of his career off the bench, mostly because starting his career, he was on the bench behind Rondo, and he was behind the bench behind Isaiah Thomas.
How you think he's going to take it now?
Then he was behind Kyrie Irving. He was behind. He was on the bench for a long time, and he finally just got his start on this team.
So he's not going to take it well. You're going to have to get rid of him because he's not going to take it well.
Right.
So my point is, that's a trade that actually makes sense. For the Knicks, makes absolutely no sense. You cannot continue with you can't do it with Randall as your number one option. You can't.
You can't run it back.
You can't. I don't think you can run it back again. You have to either make a major trade for draft picks, or you need to make a major play for somebody else. That's just me.
Honestly, I'm good with, as long as we get another big piece. Like, Randall can stay, but I'm definitely more on the edge or ledge of letting him go. Because say, like, would you be mad at an Obi Toppin, like Grant Williams power forward rotation for the Knicks? I would not be mad at that. Grant Williams is a little weird, but I'd take it. He's a good player.
I'd rather Obi Toppin finally get 30 points and let's see what he really is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Obi as a starter, and then, you round out, get him a good backup. I'd be fine with that.
All right.
Are they going to do it? Probably not. Because this front office just is in love with Julius Randle for some reason. I don't know why, but...
The same reason that the Yankees were in love with Aaron Hicks for God knows how long.
They're in love with what the regular season shows them from what Randall shows in the regular season.
He's a regular season superstar.
That's all he is.
He folds in the playoffs.
And they're in love with what he shows them during the regular season.
You're a liar.
Randall's a liar. He's a postseason
He's
liar.
not a liar.
Nah, he sells dreams in the regular season, then when it comes to the postseason,
What do they call that in baseball when you can't...
slump?
The yips. He gets the yips. There's a thing. What's his name? The guy... you're a Mets fan. The Boston guy. What's his name, for goodness sake? First baseman. Mookie...
Wade Boggs?
What's that?
Wade Boggs?
No.
Buckner?
Buckner, Bill Buckner. He got the yips. He could never be the same after that horrible thing that happened to him.
When it went past him.
Exactly.
Right
and then the Mets
legs.
go and win that World Series. That's my point. This guy's got the yips. Every time he gets in the postseason, he folds. So, I mean, if you can't win, stop. Just stop.
Yeah, the Knicks got to shake something up, because the way I see the Eastern Conference, and we're going to move on, but the way I see it right now, there's opportunity. When's the last time the Knicks, you could say, if they had one good offseason, had a great opportunity to really make a run at the Eastern Conference title? This is like a first in decades.
Yeah.
So they got to get it done, and they got to be smart about it. But before we close out the NBA topics, I wanted to run through some news and notes. Sixers go from a doc to a nurse.
Yeah. Didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Saw that. It's
clever.
Yeah. Raptors, a title-winning head coach. He's now in Philly. You expect them to... Maybe that keeps Embiid happy. I don't know about Harden now. I think he's still going to Houston.
Can we just say that I think Nick Nurse lucked out because he got Kawhi? He just lucked out. I'm sorry. Is he a good? He's a good basketball mind. Listen, I know his career. He's a good basketball mind. He probably doesn't have a championship without Kawhi.
He's like Bizarro Tibbs. Like Kawhi Leonard for a season. Maybe he wins a championship too. I'm just saying. I think Nick Nurse is a good coach, but
he never had any depth in Toronto in his later seasons.
Nah.
Well, no, that's not true. What he had was depth. He just never had a star, and they finally got a star. Kawhi was in his prime when he won that series.
And Siakam's not that number one guy.
It wasn't Valanciunas. It wasn't Siakam. It wasn't what's that? I mentioned him earlier.
Van Vliet.
Freddie Van Fleet.
Yeah.
It wasn't any of them. They were nice role players, and you just had this stud with them, and that just made them all better. Yeah. And then he went with Paul George, and he forgot how to do it. It's weird.
It's funny how that works, right? He went to L.A. to retire. That's my take.
I'll say this about the Knicks, though. This is a dry free agent season. All you got is Westbrook.
No, the highest free agents or the highest quality free agents are Westbrook, I think Kyle Kuzma.
Brown.
He's up there.
Jaylen
Harden's
Brown,
in there.
maybe.
Harden's up, right?
Harden's, he's up.
Or does he have? He might have a player.
The player option, but he'll be a free agent.
Yeah. He's opting out.
Yeah.
Draymond.
Chris Middleton, Draymond Green. Imagine Draymond Green on the Garden floor.
Do you think Golden State brings him back? Seriously, you think Golden State brings back Draymond?
I'd say so.
Let's talk about it because they don't have a GM no more.
Oh yeah.
Bob Myers stepped down, the 4-time champion.
Draymond is the GM. No, that's what we're getting at. He'll come down on the floor and start trash talking.
He announces
people.
the transactions on his podcast.
We will be trading Klay Thompson. But it's actually the Warriors owner's son, so they're going the nepotism route. They're going Kirk Lacob as the GM.
Family business.
So no experience as an executive, so I don't know if the Warriors are. They might be cooked. I held out hope, but they might be cooked.
They will be in a rebuild.
I think no matter what, they're sticking with Clay and Steph. They want them to retire. That's two you let your Hall of Famers retire with you.
Yeah, the Splash Brothers got to retire in the Bay.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
They traded Wiseman last trade deadline. They were looking at trading Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know with this new GM if that's going to be the same outlook, but I mean, I don't know how I feel about the Warriors trading Kuminga because if you're losing Draymond, Kuminga could be that guy. Kuminga, I mean, some people call him the cum bucket, but I mean, he could be that guy to fill in for Draymond because he did start quite a bit of games. But he did start quite a bit of games during the season, and he did very well.
Too,
he did very well starting the season.
Hey, we'll see what happens with the Warriors. But Eric, your Suns, they have 3 finalists for their head coaching position. You wanna talk about it? You got Kevin Young. You got Frank Vogel, former Lakers coach, won a championship.
Former Nick.
And you got Doc Rivers. I'm a finalist for the Suns job. Tell us how you feel about it.
You might as well just kept Monty Williams.
Yeah,
this is what you're going with. I mean, I'm starting to think all right, you get the money situation, you get the type of person that Robert Sarver was, but look, this is straight up a dumb move. I mean, you gave up Monty Williams for what?
For Doc Rivers.
That's even worse, to be honest.
It was between Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton. They decided for some reason to go with DeAndre Ayton.
I mean, it sounds stupid to us because you know how I feel about DeAndre Ayton. You know how Eric feels too, but
they all feel the same way.
Yeah, of course, but they got to stick with the number 1 overall pick former, and you got to try to squeeze as much out of that orange as you can and try to get that potential out of him. Now, one thing I'll say about Doc Rivers, if he is hired as the Suns head coach, he turned DeAndre Jordan into an all-star. He took Joel Embiid to another level. Maybe he does the same with DeAndre Ayton. I don't know, but
I think that's very hard to do with a guy like DeAndre Ayton. It's very hard. It's sometimes you just have to put a chip in his brain. That's going to be very hard to do because I just feel like he doesn't listen.
You have to change his entire game plan of how he plays the game of basketball.
Yeah, just be a physical center for the first time in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was all right in the Suns finals run. That's the wild thing about it. Like, he was great.
You remember that game winner?
The dunk, like,
oh my God,
he was a force. He was doing pretty well against Giannis those first 2 games of that final series, but ever since that point,
no, I tell you where it stopped. It stopped when I feel like Dallas really took a piece of him when they blew us out. It was just
Game 7.
Because even like the series before that, he was a little aggressive, but even then, you seen like, all right, you see what's going on. Like, this is a whole different player from last year. Like, he was averaging 15, 20 a game. Now look. Ever since that Maverick series, he's been a different player. It's like they really took his heart, they took his brain, they took his physicality, they took everything from him and never gave it back.
Something Suns and Celtics fans can agree on is getting blown out in Game 7s. Thank you.
He's like, wait, a long pause for it. Ding.
Let me remind everybody that they are listening to WHPC Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Joshua Umahi, Eric Williams, Devin O'Shea, Nick Scartamaglia, and Nick Ornberger. 516-572-7440. Call up the show. We're going to talk about the Yankees, and we're going to talk about Aaron Judge. So on yesterday's show, we spent a lot of time on the Yankees, on baseball, period. But we talked about the Yankees road trip starting in Seattle, and we were talking about this young kid for the Mariners, Bryce Miller. Like, phenom type guy, great velocity, really is one of those like next up type guys you got to watch in terms of Major League Baseball prospects. Aaron Judge wasn't moved.
Drilled deep to left field. That ball is off the pole. A home run. A laser to left field. A 2-run shot by Judge. And the Yankees lead 3-1.
116, almost 117 miles an hour off the bat. Miller's already given up more hits in these first 3 innings than he has all year.
And that's
in
his
the first 5 starts.
allowed.
Yeah, first home run allowed. First runs allowed.
Aaron Judge is like, when that new kid comes to school, right? And he's thinking he's like the hottest thing out. He's like, yo, look at me. Like, I'm Bryce Miller. Look at me. Aaron Judge is looking like the senior, like
stuffing him in a locker.
Like, yeah, stuffing him in a locker. That's exactly what Aaron Judge did, because later in the game, he also did this.
High drive, left field, going back, Kelnick on the track, at the wall, leaps. That ball is gone. Another home run for Judge. A solo shot. Yankees lead 9-4.
That was his 17th home run of the season. And then, you know what? He's having fun. It's a big lead for the Yankees. He's fielding. He's like, let me just do this too.
High fly ball, deep right. Backing up Judge. He's on the track. He's at the wall. He leaps. And he makes the play. Oh, what a night for Aaron Judge. Took a home run away from Teoscar Hernandez.
He was wearing Michael K out, pause. But he had an impressive night. That was like an MVP type night.
Quite the night.
This is, I know this is early. We're only entering June. This is going to be his greatest season, I think.
Greater than 62 home runs?
Greater than last year?
Greater than last year.
I can see
He's hitting 300. He's well above 400 on base. He's got 17 home runs already. He's going to smash 130 RBIs or whatever. This is going to be the best season of his career. And I don't know how else to say this, but then to say he is the greatest player in baseball right now, period. It's not close.
We starting the debate already.
I gotta admit, I agree. I agree.
I'm not saying I disagree. Like, it's
really?
I mean,
I don't disagree either.
And don't give me Shohei.
Why not Shohei?
Why?
Why not Pete Alonso?
Okay, so I actually think Aaron Judge, him and Ohtani are neck and neck. Really? No, I really believe that. But Ohtani, people are going to point to, he does it on both ends, pitching. He's got a
which is all fine and good.
ERA.
Which is all fine and good. He's not a superstar on any end. He's a superstar on both. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, but you have to. I feel like I think Aaron Judge might be a little like inch ahead of Ohtani right now, but
I don't think it's close. I think be great at what you do. I don't agree. It's not close. It's not close.
It's close.
Ohtani is an outstanding pitcher, but he's not a Hall of Fame pitcher. He's a great power hitter, but he's not a Hall of Fame hitter. Aaron Judge is going to wind up in the Hall of Fame because Aaron Judge is one of the greatest hitters we've ever seen.
Without a doubt, I agree with the one of the greatest hitters, but
right. But is Ohtani going? Ohtani is probably going to wind up in the Hall of Fame. I'm fair enough.
Absolutely.
Why is that? Because we haven't seen anything like him since Babe Ruth,
and
that's why
he's been doing better than Babe Ruth as a pitcher than Babe Ruth did.
Right, but he hasn't hit like Babe Ruth, did he?
True.
Doesn't hit like Babe Ruth.
I mean, like I was going to say, like my father is able to say that he was able to watch A-Rod play baseball. He was able to watch.
I'm old enough.
Griffey play baseball. I'm able to tell my kids that I watch Aaron Judge hit 62 bombs in a season,
and then might do it again,
and might have a better season than that season.
Yeah,
I'm able to tell my kids I've witnessed that. These are some seasons that are going to be talked about in the history books for years to come.
Absolutely.
Ohtani's not breaking. I mean, he might break some records.
He might break records.
Yeah,
he might break records. Yeah,
but like these numbers are going to be at the top of the home. When you're talking about baseball, you talk about home runs. Aaron Judge is going to be atop of the home run record.
Without a doubt.
And for the record, who is the only AL record holder for home runs who hasn't been caught dead on steroids? Oh, that's Aaron Judge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one. Roger Maris too, but I mean the top guy, 62, AL home run leader. It's clean now. Well, it was always the AL one was always clean.
I was going to say, hang on a minute. It was never proven Maris did it.
It wasn't proven. It was highly insinuated. but it seems clean now. He's always been that big. Shut up. I'm kidding.
Yo, Aaron Judge, he's nice. He's definitely, just run through the numbers. 302 batting average.
Yep.
408 OBP. 406 slugging. Oh, sorry, 679 slugging.
679 slugging. That's not true.
It can't be right. OPS above 1,000 at 1.087. Now, if you want to compare Shohei Ohtani, I had his stats up here. Ohtani's got a OPS around 890 at last check. Actually, it's at 830 right now. So 830 OPS, and then he has a sub-3 ERA pitching in 11 starts. So my thing is, who is the most valuable to their team right now?
Are we kidding?
It's Aaron Judge.
It's Aaron Judge.
That's the only reason why the Angels are still in this.
The Angels have Mike Trout. Some days, Ohtani's not the best player on his own team. Mike Trout is one of the best players on this universe.
And also, you can't be the best. You can't. The MVP is different in every other sport. In basketball, it's a joke. No offense to anybody who loves I love basketball, but it's all stories game in basketball. In the MLB, you cannot be the MVP on a team that never makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the Angels ain't making the playoffs. They're
making a good run, but
they're making a run.
They're gonna.
They always fall.
They're making a run with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani.
It's real cute. You have two of the best players in baseball, and you can't figure it out.
That's wild. For the longest time, Mike Trout is just wasting his career there. I don't know why he re-signed there.
Because he's the king of LA.
Damian Lillard.
That's not who you want to be.
Just staying
That's not who you want to be.
Just
you want to
staying
build a
somewhere
legacy.
and not winning anything. Like, you've got the accolades on that team.
He's the modern day Mantle, man.
And he's the type of guy that likes to be out at the spotlight, and he wants to do like weather stuff. He's like he wants to be out the. No, for real, he wants to be out the spotlight. But yo, if you're that legendary a player, I'm sorry, you got to be like, I need to win. Like I need to get out of Anaheim and win.
There's something attractive about that, though, isn't there? A guy who's just like, I don't care. I'm making plenty of money. I've got a beautiful wife, beautiful life. I got kids. I'm happy right where I am at.
Nick, I hear you, but
come to New York. You should come to New York and play for the Orange and the Blue.
I don't know if Trout could handle New York. Seriously,
he would hate New York. He would really like the spot.
It's like that Cliff Lee thing. He didn't want to come here either.
All I kept hearing in the off season And a little bit last year was Ohtani wants to be a Met because of the general manager we have here in New York. Come to New York. Help us get to a World Series titles for the first time since probably when you were a kid.
I was when the last time. Well, no, the last time.
1986.
Wait, to get to the World Series?
That was the last time we won a World Series.
Oh, 86? I wasn't a little kid. How old do you think I am? You son of a gun, you. No. The last time they went to...
Maybe a few years older than my brother.
I'm about to leap over this mic.
You throwing shots at you.
No.
Shots right now.
Last time I saw him in the World Series, the first time I saw him in the World Series was 2000. I was 11 years old. Knock it off.
I mean, Ohtani's not going to want to come to a team that if we continue this horrible series of losing to terrible teams and then sometimes beating some good teams, he's not going to want to come to a team that is barely even making the playoffs to another team that is barely making the playoffs. We had 101 wins last year, but we are not looking like that team this year.
No, we are not.
Why would you want to come over here?
That's a good segue into the Mets. Before that, Michael Kay, I just said he was really hyped up about Aaron Judge yesterday. So he had like the most beautiful description of how great Aaron Judge has been. Just he summed it up beautifully.
This guy's really good.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not
That's
wrong.
good.
You can't deny that. It's undeniable.
This guy is really good.
Let's hear that one more time.
This guy's really good.
He's really good.
Michael Kay is he's a nut.
What a treasure.
He's built like just a tank. Like he's like Barry Bonds before the steroids, tiny, puny man. After steroids, gigantic. Judge is this before steroid. Like dude does not need steroids.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really
I
good.
thought you were talking about Michael Kay for a second. I was like, he's built like a blimp. What are you talking about?
Yo, so I was watching, there was one podcast that Mike Breen was on. So apparently Mike Breen and Michael Kay went to the same school.
Really?
And he was introduced to Michael Kay because Michael Kay was like getting curved by some girl. Like repetitively. He was like, oh, you don't want to go on a date with me? She was like, no, loser. And Mike Breen walked over to him like, yo, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm used to it.
I'm used to it. This is a third of the day.
It's regular.
This is most of my average Tuesday.
Michael, he is a treasure, I'll say that. Let's get to the Mets, though. So they start a series against the Phillies tonight. And cookies on the hill. Carlos Carrasco and his nearing 7 ERAs up against Aaron Nola, who hasn't been great this year either, but Mets Phillies separated by 1.5 games in the National League East standings. We're officially 1/3 of the way through the season. Their June schedule looks pretty tough. I mean, you have the Braves in there a couple times. You got the Pirates at Pittsburgh. The Phillies obviously in this series. Blue Jays next series. Real quick, which direction we see the Mets going in?
Better, but not. I don't think it's going to be one of those scenarios where we see one of those hot streaks. I think it's going to be increasingly better. I don't see them finishing under 500. I'm not that down on the Mets. I really am not. I think a lot of these guys hit their strides, whether it's Lindor, whether it's the rest. It doesn't matter. I think enough of them hit their stride that they have a decent season. Do I think they're going to be competing for a wild card? Yes, I do. Think they're going to be competing. Do I think they'll get it? Probably not. But, I mean, they've had too much injury. The Edwin Diaz injury is a tremendous loss. They have no ability to close a game without someone, I think, better, competing for at least a wild card, but that's probably where they'll end up.
It's a shame that the team with the highest payroll in baseball, I'm going to keep saying it, that's where they're going to really wind up. Because I agree completely. I don't think there's anything that screams... Even with the injuries and everything early in the season, there's nothing about this team that screams World Series contender.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm going to go a little crazy here. I'm actually going to say this. I can't believe I'm about to say it.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I say Mets win the National League East. But out after the first round of the playoffs. I say they contend with the Braves all summer long and find a way, like they did in 2015 to pull off that miracle, win the division. Do I see them going all the way to the World Series? No.
And I'm asking you to hang on to that delusion. Sorry, that's
we
so
don't
mean.
need
I'm
it.
sorry.
We don't need it.
But with Senga pitching tonight, it's going to be interesting.
Carrasco's
Yes.
pitching tonight.
I just looked. It says Senga.
Senga's pitching tonight.
They switched it up?
Yeah.
They must have switched it up. Let me see if I can find the Mets lineup real quick, too. It should be out
Alvarez
by now.
is second.
As he should be.
Vientos is in the lineup.
He's fifth.
Vientos against the righty.
No, lefty.
Ranger Suarez.
Oh,
Yeah, the entire
you know what?
thing.
I messed up. I had the second game of the series. So, yeah, tonight, that's my fault. Yeah, that's my fault. It is Suarez, the lefty, against Senga tonight. That's true. That's true.
I mean,
my fault.
I think we have to, like, when talking about the Mets, I do feel that we have to bring up every single time about how we have the biggest payroll in the entire league until we start playing like a team that has the biggest payroll in the entire league. Until we start playing like we should be playing, like with the team that is paying everyone to play their best and play at their best, we have to play like a team that is paying their players the most money in the entire league. We have to start playing like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen, though. Nick.
What?
No, the other Nick.
Which one?
Which one?
So you saying that the Mets going to catch the Braves?
Let's look at it this way. Every team in baseball who even leads the division or second and third, no team is blowing out their division.
No, I understand that.
And I'm looking at last night's Braves game. They lost 7-2 to Oakland.
They're kind of. That's actually. I see why you're saying that now. That's actually pretty bad. What is that?
So the Athletics, they won 11 games.
That's
so far.
that's their 11th win of the season. See, I get that, but any team can trip up against not expecting it.
Didn't we lose against Oakland?
No, we swept them.
Okay.
My main counterpoint would be with what pitching, with what.
All it
McGill
takes
and
is
Carrasco
one.
pitching every fifth day. We gonna catch the Braves?
Listen, all I gotta say is you got the Braves coming up.
Yeah,
Prove it then.
unfortunately. Well, we'll see how the Mets do tonight, starting the series against Philly. But we are out of here on Sports Talk on this Tuesday. And for Eric Williams, Devin O'Shea, Nick Scartamaglia, Nick Ornberger, Joshua Umahi signing off. Thanking you once again for listening to Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.